Hello, y'all. I am back again for another episode of Narcissist and Text Messaging, and this is part 6. I'm actually enjoying the series that I'm doing on narcissism and text messaging. And what I like about the series so far is that I'm doing everything like on a case by case basis in an effort so that when you go into the new year and every year thereafter, you'll be more successful. So I truly believe in my life and many other people's lives, being able to handle this narcissism and text messaging issue will help y'all greatly. And of course, there won't be a lot of people on the live now. It's kind of going into the afternoon. However, guess what? People will watch the live when they get off work, okay? And get finished with their families. And if they don't have a family, they still have things they have to do, okay? So, narcissism and text messaging part 6. So, I will be putting the playlist that I created for narcissism and text messaging in the description box below. Okay. And so just check the description box below because I put a lot of video links in the description box, or several video links, not a lot. Some videos, there's just a couple of video links. Some videos, there's a lot of videos or several videos in the description box. So, of course, narcissism and text messaging part 6. So, go through and watch parts 1 through 5. I give examples. I talk about a married man. I talk about the man that I've turned down that has all the properties. I also talked about an adopted nephew and an ex coworker and others. So in this case, I will be talking about the married man, okay, that I've known since I was a child. And I also know his wife as well. I'm basically like their friend. Okay, so this is about the married man starting out for this video. Okay, so there's only one married man that I've mentioned in all of these series so far. If I bring up another married person, I will tell you this is a different married person. But in all of these series, narcissist and text messaging part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is 6. I'm talking about the same man, kind of like a soap opera, y'all. So what happens is this, and I truly believe in this because I've been a part of the grooming process and being groomed. So what an abuser does in a very subtle way without you realizing it, they get you used to a certain atmosphere, okay? So the atmosphere that they're creating, you get used to it, okay? And so I mentioned in the other videos that I'm ignoring his text and the married man is texting me from a work phone. Now, let me give you the update for the married man because I did not block him. Okay, remember, I told you that I did not block him from that work phone or from their family phone. So, okay, so he's texted me consistently without me having any response since November 21st. He's actually been texting me from this work phone number way before I even knew it was his work phone number. I mentioned that. He started texting me. Actually, I began the first text because he called me from this work phone back in February of 2025 and I asked, "Hello, who is this?" Okay. I mentioned that in the other videos. So the text stream started when I asked, who is this? Because I wanted to know who's calling. They called and I called back. There was no answer. So then April 29th of 2025, I get a text with him saying, hello, beautiful. And at some point I realize it's him. Um, so now I know for sure it's him. So I no longer reply to these texts because I realize that it's very disrespectful to me and his wife. And so the last text I responded on was November 13th, 2025. So at that point, I did not reply to any text. So since November 13th, the next text he sent was November 21st. And so up until now, so he sent me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 texts starting from November 21st, 2025. It says, hellos, good afternoon. Hello, what's your problem? I see you. Hi, do we have a problem? So those are the last 7 texts that have been sent. I do not reply. And what happens in these kind of situations is they might confuse you for being a narcissist. Okay. So when you start ghosting people and you don't reply, they're going to get on YouTube and other platforms and it's going to say, narcissists ghost you, narcissists do silent treatments. But not just narcissists do that. Empathic people will do it as well. And the reason I'm doing it is to not be a part of him disrespecting his wife. Okay. So passive aggressively, I'm telling him, I am not the one that's going to help you disrespect your wife. So at this point, he's not texting me anymore. And I mentioned in the video, he decides to lie. In part 4, part 5, the married man decides to lie and say his wife called and said she's going to be going away for 2 years. And she's not coming back, she says. This is the lie he told. I actually heard his wife's voice, y'all. She ain't gone nowhere. She right here on the West Coast, happy, laughing, no problems. So he told that lie. So I mentioned in Narcissist and Text Messaging part 4 or 5, one of those, that one of my pet peeves is that, if I'm giving advice or somebody's telling me about a problem, I want it to actually be a real problem, not something that they're making up. So what he did yesterday was he called me from that same work number. Okay. He called me yesterday at 10:04 a.m. from that work number. And then he called me again today at 10:01 a.m. from that same work number. And he's also disrespecting his employer too. Okay. He's at a corporation handling things that's very risky and dangerous if things are not done properly. So, you got to be careful who you hire because they're not focused on their jobs, especially when it's a mechanical job. And I don't want to be a part of that neither. When you're doing like a mechanical job and you're working under cars and stuff, I really don't want to be a part of you messing it up and somebody's brakes go out and next thing you know, they're in a ditch and deceased. I don't want to be a part of any of that. So at this point, he's acting highly narcissistic. So we don't really care if he's a narcissist or an empath or narcissistic. He's definitely not normal. Okay. So he's acting highly narcissistic to continue to be sending me this stuff, right? And so I gotta get some air going in here, y'all. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, so the married man is acting highly narcissistic. So what I'm gonna do at this point is block this work number. Okay. And this is why I'm going to block it. If he wants to speak to myself or my family, he needs to call from their marital line so that he's not doing it behind his wife's back. Okay. So what I'm going to do, because remember in the other narcissist and text messaging parts 1 through 5, I gave y'all a little homework. So 2 people are already blocked, so I can't read their text messages. So, but I did not block the married man, okay? Because remember, I'm friends with them. But he stopped texting because he realizes I'm not gonna reply. And I haven't replied since beginning of November, like I said. But this is the problem with this. And this is why it's kind of sad that text messaging is such a big deal. This makes people angry. And a lot of people, I also explained that I'm going to be doing, or told y'all or made y'all aware that I'm going to be doing a playlist on passive aggressive language. And because people do not know how to properly read or understand passive aggressive language, they suffer. And it's a language that I've been around and understood since I was a child, way before I knew what it meant. And passive aggressive language, in the context that I'm mentioning it, it doesn't always mean someone's angry with you. The blunt of what it is, and I'm going to create the playlist once I get off this live, and I'm going to call it passive aggressive, whatever. It's going to be a playlist, and I'm going to put this video in it and the narcissist and text messaging part 5 that I already did. So those will be the first 2 videos for passive aggressive language. But it will be hard for narcissistic people to understand passive aggressive language because of their problem with thinking they have a right to do something. And see, once a narcissistic person puts you in a category, so it's like with this married man, I can feel what category he's in, or that he's put me in. Okay, this is the category he's put me in. You're single, you're pretty, you need some dick, and you need a man in your life. It don't matter if they married or not. You need some dick and you need a man in your life. Okay. And the sick way of him thinking that way will cause him to behave the way he's behaving. See, I can tell the way you think by how you approach me. So the way you think and what's in your sick mind is why you approach me the way you approach me. But see, the thing is, it's not true. The way a man may perceive me, whether he be not committed or committed and married, the way he perceives me is not necessarily the truth. Okay. So the correct compartment that I'm in is that, yeah, he may think I'm attractive. And I'm saying that because earlier in the year, he called me beautiful. So despite what he may think, it's okay to be perceived as pretty or beautiful and not be in a relationship with the man. A lady has a right to protect herself. So what I'm going to do right now, let me make sure. So the reason I'm going to go ahead and block this work number is because he's not understanding passive aggressive language. And at this point, I can't teach it to him. I'm clearly showing him when I do not reply to these text messages, I'm saying, man, you wrong for sending me all these texts while you on your work phone and doing this behind your wife's back. I'm saying that by not replying to him anymore. Because see, I'm kind of a little hard to groom, y'all. It may work for a couple of weeks, but once I start figuring out what you're really doing, I'm just going to get out the game. And I don't need to tell him why. This is not my husband. This is not my husband, and this is not my boyfriend, and this is not my significant other, and this is also not a blood relative of mine. So I do not need to alert this man that's married to my friend as well, okay? Because his wife, I consider her a friend, okay? I don't need to alert him of what he's doing. And so the downfall is that narcissistic people or narcissists They are not understanding passive aggressive language. I'm clearly stating I'm passive. When I do not reply to this married man, I'm saying a whole lot when I don't reply. I'm saying, man, I'm not side chick material. I don't want to be your mistress. I don't want to be a part of you disrespecting your wife. Please, it is best that you not contact me from this work phone. I'm saying all of that when I don't reply. Remember, I told you a brother told me the end of last year, it was a Scorpio too. It takes another Scorpio to kind of get this right with me, right? He said, Irene, you are assertive and you are passive aggressive. And I'm not trying to change it. I'm not trying to change it. It's actually a compliment, and I'm going to continue to do it because it keeps me out of combat. So I'm not in fights. I ain't got to cuss nobody out. I don't have to text this man and say, man, you disrespecting your wife. And this is why not to do it in this case. In these type of cases, you want to be silent, right? Because sometimes what a married person will do is they will go lie on you. So this is when you find out how evil somebody is. So if I text him back and I say, please stop disrespecting your wife, he might be scared I'm gonna go tell his wife, and then he go tell his wife first that I made a pass at him and I'm trying to get with him. So you want to be very cautious because you don't really want to find out how dirty and evil somebody can really be the hard way. So if there's any instinct that tells you that they're going to lie or turn it around like you're the predator, just don't say anything. See, when you don't say anything, if the person has some logic, they're less likely to retaliate in a wicked way and lie on you. So in this case, and his wife wouldn't probably, his wife might not even tell me that he lied. It's just suddenly I will no longer be invited around. Stuff like that. Like, see, somebody can lie on you. Like this married man can go back and lie on me to his wife and she not confront me and say that my husband said you coming on to him, which is not true, of course. And then all of a sudden they just don't invite me around no more. So in these type of cases, when you're dealing with married people, because the married person, a married man that does this, he's kind of sick in the mind, y'all. This man has a beautiful wife. And despite what people are taught, cheating is not healthy and it's not normal. It's not healthy for the marital partner they have, and it's not healthy for other people that are like me, that are single, that are not in their shit. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, and this is why I'm going to do it. This is the married man. I am blocking just the work number. Okay. The number that he's sneaking around using on his wife, I am blocking that number, and I'm clicking block right now. I'm going to get this phone off do not disturb so you can hear me do it. Okay. So I want you to hear me do it, kind of like homework, because you might be in a similar situation and you want to do it too. So you hear this? So I'm clicking block. I'm blocking the work number, the phone number that the married man is using, that he's sneaking around using on his wife. So I'm clicking block. Okay. It's done. Okay. So I'm going to put it on back on do not disturb, so the phone ringing does not disturb the live. So I click block. Okay, so what's happening is this. Okay, today is Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. Okay, so I blocked. Let me confirm what I just did. I blocked the marital, not the marital line. I blocked the narcissistic man's work number, the work phone number that he's using to cheat, sneak around, and betray his wife, because he's betraying his wife when he's over texting and over communicating with people that's not his wife. He's trying to create like an emotional affair. Um, he just should not be doing this. So I just text his work phone, because what he's doing now, I mean, not text, I just blocked his work phone. I blocked, not text. Like I said, I have not texted him since back in November, because I was trying to, send spiritual texts and, just be positive. So I do not want a relationship with this man outside of his wife, and his wife not knowing what's going on. It's just not right. I'm not that type of lady. I also want to be single. See, these type of men, what they don't understand is that I like my life. I'm not bothered because I'm not with somebody like him. I'm really not bothered by it. But narcissistic men think that all ladies need a man. They really think that this is a requirement. And so what happens is, because they think it's a requirement, they compartmentalize all ladies in one category. So they say, well, she's been single too long. She ain't got no boyfriend in the house. But they don't accept that I'm fine with that situation and I'm at a great amount of peace. See, I'm not sneaking around my husband's back, texting and taking my work phone while I'm at a mechanical job and cheating around on my man, because I don't have one. And if I had one, I would not be behaving like that. And this is why I'm so glad not to be with a man, because look at how this man is treating his wife. I'm so glad I ain't got to be married to no demon like this. So many married men do this, taking their work phone, the company work phone, y'all, that he leave at work. Thank you so much, y'all, for coming in the live. This is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 6, y'all. I've been doing Narcissist and Text Messages. They're all lives. Lives, lives, not lies. They're all lives. I've been doing Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is Part 6. So I blocked this married man's work phone number, because this behavior just needs to stop. Now, this forces him to text me from the family phone number. And he doesn't want to do that because he doesn't want his wife seeing it. Okay. So hold on, let me check the chat here in the comments. Hello to Bharat Nadu. So hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. You're from India. Hello, welcome here from India. So Bharat, say yes if I'm pronouncing the first part of your name right. And Nayadu or Nadu? Bharat Nadu is how I would pronounce it. Oh, thank you. So let me say it one more time. Bharat Nadu. Is that right? Bharat Nadu? Or is it Nayadu? Okay, Bharat Nadu. Okay, so thank you. Welcome from India. I've had a very good experience with people in India. I live in the United States. However, I watch a lot of videos from learning about the culture in India. I love watching those videos. I was just watching some the other day about India. I've worked with people from India, and so some of them are like in the Hinduism or Islam, some of them. And so I've always had a great relationship with anybody from India. And actually, sometimes they'll think that I'm from India at first. Yeah, I wish I could visit India. I sure do. Yeah. One day, maybe I will. You just never know. But even though I've never visited India, I've had a great relationship with people that are from India. And one of the things I could say with people from India, I always make them laugh. They think I'm kind of funny, y'all. Because they like how I talk kind of crazy sometimes and I'm blunt and I just say what's on my mind. Um, like one sister, she was from India, right? And she was old enough to be my mom, but she was a millionaire, and she would brag about the fact that she was a millionaire. You know, she had a $1 million in assets. She owned 8 properties. 4 of them she owned in India, and then the other 4 properties she owned in the United States. And she would brag about her money and say, I'm a millionaire, Irene. And I say, you know what, sister, you kind of make that old saying true. And she said, what's that, Irene? I said, money can't make you happy. Because she was pretty miserable, y'all. She was. But she said, what? Are you saying I'm unhappy? I said, yeah, you real unhappy. But it got better. Once I told her that, I was like her best friend. And I was the only person at that job she genuinely liked, y'all. This ain't no lie. At this particular job I worked at, this sister from India, her husband, he worked there too. And he didn't say much. He was pretty much quiet. Um, yeah, I agree. Bharat Nadu, I agree that I should be careful when I visit India. Yeah. And the sister told me that too. What's the deal with the animals running around in some parts of India? What's the deal with the some of the animals running around that are attacking the citizens or people that live there? I know that can't be going on in all parts of India, but I was just watching a video. I mean, it's like lions, wild dogs. Um, these animals are like running all around the streets attacking people. What's going on with that? And it's like in impoverished areas where there's a lot of poverty and low incomes and poorness. Um, I found it interesting. I was like, wow, they need to get that under control. Yeah. And what about the cows? But Rafa Nadu, what about the cows in India? What do you mean? Because you mentioned the cows too. So the cows are like running around loose too? Is that what you're saying? The cows are in the same, they just running around wild too? So anyway, this video is about narcissism and text messaging part 6. And I blocked this married man. So Bharat, just so you know, Bharat and everybody that's in here, everyone say hi to Bharat Nadu from India. Respond to him and say hello to him. I'm going to start asking people to do that. Be friendly with people that come in the chat, especially when they're coming in from other countries. I mean, because he could be watching anything in India, right? But he's choosing to come way to the United States to listen to me and chit chat with y'all. So let's be grateful for this. You just never know what people are going through in other countries. But anyway, narcissism and text messaging. This is part 6. This is part 6, narcissism and text messaging. So I blocked the married man. Well, Barath, this is the thing with the United States of America. Yes, be careful. You know why? I'm going to tell you why to be careful in the United States. What happens to people here? I'm going to give you an example. We just had a Amber Alert because a 5-year-old, let me go check the alert. A 5-year-old little girl and a 5-month-old little boy are missing. So let me go try to find this Amber Alert. So absolutely be careful in the United States. There was this one Muslim man. He came all the way here from Afghanistan, from the Middle East to be safe and stuff. And hold on, let me try to find this Amber. Yeah, 2 little kids, a 5-year-old little girl, and then Hold on, I'm trying to find this Amber Alert, y'all, because I want to get the genders right. Um, yeah, I'm not seeing the alert. It came through text messaging though. So why isn't it? Oh, emergency alert. Okay, check this out. Missing children. This is the answer Barack's question. Missing children, 5-year-old black female and 5-month-old black male. Unknown clothing, description, last seen on the West Coast. Yes, you should definitely be careful when you come to the United States of America because you never know who's going to sneak up on you. See, in the United States of America, it looks safe. Like if I go outside, I don't see army trucks and it just looks so safe, right? But it may not be so safe because you never know when I'm going to be like these missing kids. But you can avoid more dangerous areas, you know. But yes, you should be very careful when you come to the United States. In the United States, you kind of want to stay to yourself, okay? So we have a lot of crime shows, Barack Nadu, and in the United States, your greatest enemy is someone you know. It ain't the strangers that's gonna get you. It's somebody you know. So in the United States, like I live around thousands and thousands of people. I don't mess with my neighbors. I don't chit chat with my neighbors. One neighbor, he moved a homeless man in. He had a habit of moving homeless men in to help him out. His name was Richard. He's dead. The homeless man killed him in his own place. And I'm in what you call a safe area. But in the United States, it's always murders. I don't care if you live in the hood, if you live in the projects, or you think you in a suburb. There's murders right around you. Okay. And one thing I can say about the United States of America is that if I don't move that homeless man in and help that homeless man, I'm usually pretty safe. Because that homeless man in the United States of America, he ain't really banging my door down to get in here. I got to say, yes, you can move in. So yeah, the United States of America is a very unsafe place. You got to be very careful here, but it is a place where you can hide out from a war. Okay, so what I do, I'm right here on YouTube. Oh yeah, but you know what, Barack? Nadu, so Barack says, he says, worst thing is having guns is legal in the USA. Yeah, that's true. It seems to be the worst thing. But one of the things that the Lord showed me earlier this year or whatever, let me see, was it this year? Yeah, it was earlier this year. And I ain't gonna lie, I was beefing with one of my relatives, y'all. And a white man had to pull a pistol on my relative to get my relative in line. I told the white man, don't shoot my relative. But in the United States of America, you may need a pistol to get your teenagers and stuff in check. But he was a white man that knew what to do with his pistol. When I told him don't shoot my relative, he didn't. But my relative was really acting out and it was very disrespectful. So I don't view guns the same anymore because someone used their gun to protect me from my own family that was having a fit that day. It's been resolved. And my relative, you know what it showed my relative is that men don't tolerate abuse. So that white man that pulled that pistol on my relative helped my relative. He was angry when it happened, but he showed my relative, I love her and this is gonna stop. So it really helps. So I don't look at pistols the same. Say somebody kicked the door in, Barack Nadu and everybody, and they just came in here to bring total mayhem on my family, to rape and chop us up and torture us. So what do I do if someone just kicks my door in to come torture me? If I have a pistol, I can stop the torture of my family by using my pistol. So I see why pistols are needed, but I also think in the United States of America, they don't know when and how to use it. You know, in the United States of America, we shoot you with a gun if we arguing with you over some Popeye's chicken, or we stab you to death if you don't tip us when we deliver pizza. I know other countries, I'm going to tell you the truth. When other countries look at the USA, the United States of America, they must think we crazy than a motherfucker. Now, I'm not like that. I'm not getting ready to go stab nobody because they didn't tip me because I delivered some pizza to them. Because first of all, I ain't ordering pizza anyway, and I ain't delivering pizza. But the things that people kill people over in the United States of America is just so petty. The United States of America in general, they do not value human life, and they got real bad tempers. Okay, people in the United States of America, they got real bad tempers. We are fighters, and I see why people just don't come in here and attack and take us over. Because for one, anybody that comes in America, the United States of America, to try to attack us and take us over, they know that we some crazy ass motherfuckers. Because if we unalive people because they don't tip us when we delivering pizza, what we gonna do when they really try to do something to us? So yeah, the good thing is people think before they come over here to America to start some shit. This is one country. If you another country, I ain't saying the United States of America is the most dangerous country. I'm not saying that. But the truth of the matter is, you know what? The United States of America, we don't need guns anyway. Most of us can fight. The guns just made it more chaotic, I guess you could say. But anyway, going back to the subject. Hold on, I got one more chat. Thank y'all for leaving comments in the chat. Miguel Castro, Y7F. Thank you so much. Barathan Adu says, one of my cousins was dead and your country shot dead in the supermarket. Over what? How did your cousin get shot in the USA? In the supermarket? Who shot him? Why they shoot him? Robbers, yep. In the United States, yep. Barath Nadu, in the United States. I was robbed here. Let me tell you, I was robbed a couple of years ago, and a man tried to sick his dog on me to do it. I got a video on my channel. It's called the dog robbery Narcissist. I talk about this robbery. But you know what? The dog was more respectful. The dog tried to give me my phone back. Sure did. The dog was smarter than the owner. But the robber used his dog. I was walking down the street and I had my phone out. So the man that had the dog was just a complete devil. And something told me to just walk away because he looked real evil. But I kept going, you know, but I should have just walked back and follow my instinct, but I did not follow my instinct. Next thing you know, he put his dog on me. I fell to the ground, me and the dog face to face. And the dog was looking like, oh man, not again. Thank God the dog didn't maul me. The dog had more sense than the man that had the dog. And the man that had the dog, he looked like he was from another country. He looked like he was from like Mexico or Puerto Rico. And I'm so sorry, Barath Nadu, that your cousin got killed. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I really am. And I know, you know, one thing I'm going to say this for sure. Your cousin, people from India, They come here to work and to take care of their families. And I can guarantee you this, Barack Nadu, may your cousin rest in peace. I know that yeah, well, I'm a Black American, Barack, and so my family, my relatives, my ancestry was forced here. We were forced to be slaves. Um, Back in Alabama, that's where the slave ancestry began for my relatives. I never lived in Alabama. I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, and I now live on the West Coast. But as a I call myself an indigenous Negro American because my family was forced to be slaves for the white man. So my ancestry would originate from, I guess, throughout the research, because my family keeps kind of up to date what we are. So the tribe that I'm connected to is the Bantu people, which is they're West Africans, they're West and South Africans that's mixed together. And one of their tribal kings was Shaka Zulu, which my grandmother had told me about this when I was a little girl. She told me that she had this big, pretty painting of Shaka Zulu. He was a warrior. And my grandmother advised me that that was my people. And then come to find out it was true. My grandmother was not crazy after all. So, yeah, part of my bloodline is from the Bantu people, but I've never been to Africa. But in my case, I do know what my heritage is. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, habitated, like you said, you people habitated to that place. Well, my people were forced to be in this place. My ancestors was forced to be here, or they would have been beat and killed. Okay, so that's how that works. Because I'm an American Negro, so when you hear American Negro, it's not a bad word. It's just representing the slave ancestry that my relatives were forced into. Now, the slave owner in my family in Alabama, they left my relatives the land, and my relatives live on that slave land right now today. So I don't know what my relatives did to make that happy. I don't know if they whooped Massa's ass or whatever, but Massa decided to give my family the land. That's truly what happened. So anyway, going back to narcissists and text messaging part 6, I love these chats. One of the things I like about the narcissists and text messaging part 6, y'all, is that there's so many things that we discuss in here that's not just text messaging. It makes it really worthwhile. So going over, I blocked the married man. This is a married man that's being disrespectful towards his wife and their family friends of mine. So I blocked his work number. Married men should not be using their work phone number to contact other women to flirt, call them beautiful, and contact them every day. So I'm going to explain to you why I'm blocking him from the work number, so that when he decides to want to get abusive with me, he cannot do it through the text. He can do it, but I won't be able to read it. So I'm blocking him from that work phone number to protect myself from his abusive nature. When a man is going behind his wife back, texting and complimenting other women and trying to do it from a separate number, he is being abusive. It's emotional abuse, and he's being very abusive and mean, not just to his wife, but to the lady that he's trying to put in a fair compartment, which is me. I'm not going to be dating no married man, especially no married man, and I'm cool with his wife and I love his wife. I just wouldn't do that. That's not my nature. It's not a good thing. It's not cool. So I blocked the work phone number because no matter how much I ignore him, he's not picking up on what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not cool, man. But the narcissistic mindset, he's already put me in a compartment and he won't let me out of that compartment in his mind. No matter what I show, no matter how many texts I don't reply to, that I do not reply to, he has me in the, you're a lady, you ain't got no man, you need some dick in your life, whether it's married dick or not. And I do not need that. What I need to be doing is being on this YouTube channel, talking to all of y'all, Barack Nadu from India. See, this is more valuable, getting a chat from somebody that's in India and being able to pronounce his beautiful name. This is more valuable than going to mess with some married nutcase in the United States of America. Like Barack Nadu said, his cousin was killed here by robbers. Did these guys go to prison, Barack Nadu? I'm just curious. Did they lock these guys up that murdered your cousin? And again, I'm so sorry. Hopefully these guys are in prison. Oh no. Why aren't they in prison? Do they know who the robbers are? Were they able to find out who the robbers are? Wow. You know what? I'm going to tell you something though. Let me tell you about this. Okay. So the United States of America is a karma country. Okay. So I hope that what I say can kind of help heal you. They're not found by man, right? But the Lord knows who they are. And that's what really matters. So most robbers that do not get caught, they usually are murdered themselves eventually. Okay. So murderers in the United States, they get it real bad. Okay. They have the worst karma. They normally end up being very miserable. And the danger is the killer, he may find out the hard way he's not the narcissist that he thinks he is. And a lot of times what murderers have, they'll have nightmares. They'll become like schizophrenic. They'll end up in prison for something else. Oh, okay. So Barack Nadu says, that is the reason I am not coming to work in your country. I love the USA very much than India, but I'm scared after these incidents. Yes. And you should be scared. You should be. I'm scared too. You sure should be scared. But see, this is the thing with the United States of America, and this is how it's going to work with any country. Okay. It's just like if I came to India, my instinct is not going to be the same as yours, Barack, because you know people from India better. See, so your cousin, he's from India. So unfortunately, he can't feel the negative energy of an American or someone that lives here the way I can, right? So it's always dangerous to go to another country because it's not your country. It's not your native country. So where you're born and raised or been at for a long time, you learn that place. So the instincts are different, but I'm not sure if your cousin was around a lot of Americans per se. And once again, I'm sorry that your cousin got killed by robbers, but that's what they do in the United States. It's a greedy country. It's a greedy country, and they will rob and murder you over your $2 pair of socks. They sure will. The United States, that's one of the reasons, like, I mean, I'm born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, but there's a lot of robbery deaths there too. Burglaries, people are breaking your house and kill you. Um, where I'm born and raised at in the United States in St. Louis, Missouri, it was considered once the murder capital. It sure was. I'm not there anymore, but I was always safe in St. Louis. I never got dog robbed in St. Louis, Missouri, because everybody know you. You know what I mean? But when you go someplace and everybody don't know you, there's more strangers. So once again, Barack Nadu, I'm so sorry about your cousin. And I pray that the men that murdered him, you know what? I believe in the Lord, but I'm not really nice all the time, right? I hope that they be tortured and go to hell. I hope that the men or ladies, anybody that has something to do with killing your cousin and murdering your cousin in the United States, I hope they have the worst fucking luck in the fucking world. You hear me? I wish curses upon their ass. I do. Whoever killed your cousin does not deserve anything, and I hope that they get back what they did to your cousin plus worse. I sure do. I don't wish well on a fucking killer that murdered your cousin to rob his stuff. Your cousin life is more valuable than his things he was robbed for. Let me see. Let me read this. Your cousin life is more valuable. Um Robbers asked gold chain of my cousin. The chain is very special to us. He refused multiple times. Like he asked 5 times. Like, motherfucker, give me the chain. And he put the gun on his head. Yeah. See, in America, you gotta just give them your stuff when they're armed. Just go ahead and give it to them. This is a safety mechanism that I teach my family as well. I teach them. My relatives were robbed for their phones and stuff like that. They weren't robbed with a gun. So when my relatives, my 2 male relatives, were robbed, one of them ran and got away and was able to keep his phone. But my younger relative, they got his phone. So in the United States, we have been robbed. Everyone in my household has been robbed. Like I said, I was robbed. The man sicked his dog on me. Thank God the dog had good sense. The dog had good sense, but not the person. And then my sons were robbed. Shit. My undiagnosed psychopathic son, he used to rob my oldest son. You know, the thing is, Barack, in the United States, people in the United States, we give birth to a lot of psychopaths. We do. Seriously. I got a half a dozen kids, but one of them they say is a freaking psychopath. But my psychopath know not to rob and kill nobody because I taught them better. Not all psychopaths rob and kill. Because I tell my psychopathic son, if he do that, I'll kill him my fucking self. I say, if you ever rob somebody and kill him, I'll kill you my fucking self, dog. So my psychopathic son knows not to do no shit like that. My middle son, but see, Barack, let me tell you something about the rich country. That's an advertisement. It's not a rich country. It's a country where a few people are rich. I'm not financially rich. If I check my bank account, it's not much in there. It's a country where they charge people a lot So who's rich is like property owners and the president of the United States, the mayor might be able to save and get a little rich over time. It's advertised as a rich country. The United States of America, it's a violent ass piece of shit ass country where people get robbed and killed on a daily. It's a cold-hearted ass place. It ain't rich. You know why it's not rich? I talked about this and why the United States is bad in one of my lives. You have to apply for everything. See those robbers that murdered your cousin? They over a freaking chain. That's so silly to murder someone. I wish I could have been around when your cousin got robbed. I would have told him just give him the chain. Just give him the chain. It's just hand it to him. Because some of those robbers are vicious. Yeah, it's a country that it's some people can get rich or make it. If you're born and raised in the United States, you will most likely not be rich. Only 1% of the population is going to get rich. So if I had the skills I had and I was in India, I would have more money than I have here. I'm not financially rich because I was not born and raised in India. So the talents I have, I'm still poor. And it's because I'm in the fucking United States. So no, the United States of America, they hold a lot of people back too. Because you got to apply for everything. Like right now, I'm renting. So my landlord's rich. But I don't qualify to buy a house because my credit score ain't high enough. So this country holds me back. In India, maybe I don't need the motherfucking credit score. In India, my money might get me the house. I don't know how India is. I mean, from what I've been told by the sister that I used to work with, she was old enough to be my mom. She was a millionaire in America, right? But one of the reasons she became a millionaire in the United States, Barack Nadu, is because she began becoming rich in India. See, she bought her 4 properties in India. Then her last properties she bought in the United States. And at that time, she had 8 total. But she would like convert her money. So she was sending the money back to India, the American money, because it made her money higher. So see, she was able to become rich in the United States because she was connected to India. I wish I was connected to India. You know, she wanted to adopt my youngest son. Barack Nadu, in America now, in the United States, it is not easy to get a job. It used to be easy to get a job. Not anymore. Yeah, so let me read the comment of Barack. It says, but you can get job easily in the United States of America, like software developer. Yeah, if you white. This is a racist ass country, Barack. Yeah, all of that stuff you saying you could do is much easier if you're a white man. This is a racist ass country. So you're saying you could be like a software developer. This job is very cheap in the USA, but in India is a lifetime dream. Exactly. So see, you just proving my point. In India, being a software developer, you basically like rich if you do that. But in America, you're not rich. And then in the United States, they lay people off a lot. My perspective is that if I was not born and raised in the United States of America, I would be richer. Okay, I do truly believe that. And this is why I would be richer. My rent and bills wouldn't be so high. So if I found a way to live and had me a good man If I was in another country, I probably would be married. Okay. So see, I understand that the American dream, it's a big old lie. And I don't mind leaving this freaking country. This violent ass, killed your cousin. This motherfucker is fucking fucked up. The robber's so fucked up, it's like, okay, he don't want to give me the chain. He could have just moved on to the next victim. If I was a robber and you don't want to give me your chain, I just say, well, fuck you. I'll just move on to the next victim. But he had to kill your cousin. That's just how it is in the United States. That chain was more valuable than your cousin, and I wish harm upon those robbers. I don't wish well for them. I don't. That's the truth. That's another abnormal thing about the United States of America that's really freaking weird, right? They do it all the time on TV. These are some weirdos in the United States, Barack. They'll get on the news after somebody done tortured their child, and they say, we forgive them. Only God can forgive them. I can't forgive. Who killed your cousin? I can't forgive him. The murderers that murdered your cousin, I can't forgive those men or women. I have to send them to the Lord. That stuff pisses me off. So I wish harm upon those robbers. I do not think they deserve to live out their days. And this is why. They didn't go to prison for what they did. They murdered your cousin, dodged prison. And that's because they're going to get it worse. They're going to wish they was in prison. So, see, those robbers and killers are still running around. They might already be dead. In St. Louis, Missouri, my grandmother had a good friend that had a funeral home. In Texas in 2024, so it happened. Yeah, and I got family members in Texas. So it says, my relative's brother was murdered in Texas. They don't know who his killer is neither, as far as I heard. This incident happened in Texas. So Barack Nadu says it happened in Texas, 2024, November 17th. I'm sorry to hear that. I was in Texas the early part of 2023, and I was going to a funeral. My relative was killed there too in Texas, but she was killed by a truck crossing the street. And my relative's brother, which he's like a son to me as well. He's not my biological son, but he's like a son. I loved him. He was shot and murdered. So yeah, Texas really pops off. In America, in the United States of America, Texas is considered the South. Sure is. They got the sign up saying, don't mess with Texas. It's like St. Louis. It's just a bad place. But in Texas, you got a lot of psychopaths. You sure do. See, these babies' brains, Barack Nadu, their brains are deformed, right? So see, the frontal lobe of the psychopath, it's broke. So their brains are deformed. And so it's like the United States, look at it like this, like, I don't like using the word retarded, but you got a bunch of retarded psychopaths running around that have no soul and conscience. Okay. So, like I said, I wish I would have been around your cousin when the robbery happened, because I can feel energy, and I would have been able to tell him that those guys was going to kill him. Your cousin didn't really think they would kill him over the chain. See what happens in those robberies? For one, you got to train your males how to be robbed. My male relatives were robbed too. This little girl, teenage girl, sicked some dudes out of a car to rob my sons because one of my sons wouldn't hang around her anymore. And right now, to this day, this little girl is suffering. She's on the streets making money the wrong way, unfortunately. But I taught my sons how to be robbed. Okay. This is one thing I did as a mom. I taught them how to be robbed. I told them I love them so much. You live in a piece of shit ass country and they will take your life over an item. You said the chain was very thick, Barack. So Barack says the chain is very beautiful with coded words and it is very thick. I don't really care about the chain. I care about your cousin. That chain don't breathe. That chain cannot smile. I mean, I wish that you could have your cousin and the chain, but that chain has no value to me. Your cousin is the valuable one. I don't think the chain is worth taking his life. He said he didn't want to get a chain away. They should not have killed him over the chain. He should not be dead. The chain is a material item, Barack. It's a material item. And also in America, in the United States of America, you can't wear that type of stuff everywhere. I wish I would have known your cousin. He might still would be alive because I would have told him in the USA, you can't wear that chain everywhere, dog. Dog mean cool homie. Maybe you can do that in India. In India, he might still be alive with that chain. It's just like the Muslim man that left the war from Afghanistan. He came in the United States for safety. And he was at this apartment complex and at the playground at the apartment complex, and someone stole his daughter. His about 7, 8-year-old, 5-year-old daughter, someone took her. She's never been found. And what they do here in America, they take your children and sex traffic them. They traffic your children and make them prostitutes and stuff. So he left Afghanistan, was able to make it free from the Taliban. He made it free of the Taliban. Just shooting and horror everywhere in Afghanistan, and brought his little girl here to the United States. Wasn't even here a good month. He looked away for one freaking second and his daughter was gone. He never seen her no more. It haunted me when I watched on TV how he fell to the ground. The father of the little girl from Afghanistan that moved to the United States so his family could be safe, he fell to the ground because he think he in a safe place. No, the United States of America is a sneaky place. It's a sneaky place is what it is. So Barack Nadu says, my cousin, Barack Nadu says, I never forgot my cousin. He promised me he would return to India with the iPhone and delicious chocolates for me, but instead we received dead body. It was a lifetime trauma. Yeah, it is. It is a lifetime trauma. It is. And I definitely, if you're doing fine in India and you ain't having no problems in India, don't come here to the United States for that to happen to you, Barack Nadu. That's a red flag. That is a major red flag that your cousin got murdered here. And if you are going to come to the United States, contact me. When you come to the United States, you need to be in contact with other Americans so we can tell you how to roll. We got to tell you how to roll. In America, don't wear expensive chains in certain locations. You cannot do that in the United States. This is a hood rat greedy ass, murderous ass, psychopathic ass country. This is what they do. Murdered your cousin over a chain. And they could have, it's a way they could have maybe injured your cousin without taking his life. It's a way they could have done it. I mean, you really don't have to kill somebody over a chain. But whoever murdered your cousin, they were narcissists. So they wanted to assert power over your cousin. It angered them when he said no. That's what happened. They got angry. Because, you know, in the United States, they're degenerates. They're morally declining at a fast pace. They sure are. You can't trust these fuckers. Yeah, don't come to this piece of shit ass country, Barack Nadu. This ain't for you. Don't you come here and get yourself killed, okay? You stay right over in India where you're safe. And if you are going to come to the United States, contact me so I can give you some advice on safety tips and how to roll here in America. You need to be interacting with other Americans that were born and raised here, that understand this shitty ass country. You basically, if you're going to live in the United States, you need to be homicidal. You got to be homicidal to live here. Yeah, so Barack Nadu says it changed, leave it alone. So Barack says, okay, leave the matter, madam. It changes your mood and my mood. Yeah, it kind of pisses me off. And I'm just trying to give you good advice. But yeah, let's get back on subject. So I like Barack's Nadu energy because what he says is, okay, leave this matter, madam. It changes your mood and my mood. So this is an empathic man, and he understands how we are as empaths. You know, we get wired up. We just do. And so it does change our mood, but I'm not going to pray for these killers. Yet we cannot change the past. You're right, Barack. You're so right. We cannot change the past. However, on this channel, I don't pray for that murderer. That's all I got to say. I'm going to end it on that. Is that the other Americans might pray for the predator, but I am not going to pray and uplift and wish good on the men and women that murdered your cousin. I don't do that here. It's not logical and it's irrational. I'll change the subject, but I ain't got no prayer for them murderers. I don't like what they did to your cousin. So anyway, going forward, I love you, Barack Nadu, and stay out of America is no good. The United States of America is a piece of shit. Okay, so and I've done another live talking about why not to be here and why this is not a good country. So I'm not just saying it just because Barack came in the live. I did another live talking about why this is not a good place. I did. Let me see if I can find it here. It's right in my live videos too. Let me see. I'm going to go to my lives and see which live that was. Oh, thank you so much for the subscriber, whoever subscribed. Let me go back here. And I'm looking through my lives. I don't know. One of these lives, I talked about why the United States is not a good place. I sure did. It might be under the 25 reasons. Let me see. It could be under there. That was 1 month ago. because I gave a list of reasons why the United States is a bad place. So it might be under that lie. Barack Nadu, you want me to call you Miller? Oh, no problem. I don't mind calling you Miller. Thank you so much, Miller, for coming into the live. Thank you for the heart too, Barack. Yeah, so I talked about this on one of my lives on how I do not think the United States is the best place. And I was born and raised here. I've been here my whole life. And I truly believe it's not the best place. Okay. And Barack's story, Miller's story, nice to meet you too, Miller. Miller's story confirms how I feel. And thank you so much for being patient. So, narcissism and text messaging, okay? Part 6, okay? So, the married man, I blocked the work phone to prevent the attack that he could eventually use through text messaging. So, we're in the United States of America, and no matter where you are, India or wherever else, you want to avoid and stop attacks, okay? And one of the ways you can do it is through being very careful with text messaging. Okay, so I went over the homework with y'all in Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 1 through Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 5. I'm now on Part 6. So I blocked the married man. So that's done. Now, let me go to the next situation. Okay. So married man, work phone blocked. I'm friends with him and his wife. So his family cell phone number is still open where they can text me from there. Because he's a married man, he's not going to be texting me from his family cell phone. Oh, I want to bring this up too. Married people and grooming. So this is what could have potentially happened. So you can understand what married people go through. When they've been married a very long time, the marriage alone does not make them a happy person. Whether they be a married man or a married lady, the marriage alone will not make them happy. So if they're a miserable person and they got a lot of underlying medical conditions, mental health conditions, and physical conditions. Physical conditions can include things like insomnia. This person has trouble sleeping. Being married alone does not make your insomnia, your high blood pressure, or the fact you cannot walk or talk anymore go away. Marriage does not solve that problem. Okay. So what could have happened, I'm just giving you an example. And Miller, Barack Nadu, also known as Miller. So y'all know who I'm referring to. Miller, it was very nice to meet you too. I love you. And I'm so very sorry about everything that's happened. I truly I wish prayers upon you and your family. I want the one most high in heaven to bless your entire family. I'm going to pray right now today that no one else get killed in your family. I don't want anyone else to be killed in your family. And I mean your entire family, all the girls and boys. So I wish blessings upon your family. Okay. So, I love you, Miller. And thank you so much for coming to this channel. I think it was meant to be. Okay. So going back to narcissism and text messaging, part 6. Blocking the married man's work phone number. And also, you're welcome, Miller. You're welcome. You're welcome very, very much as well, sir. You're a good man. Thank you for looking out for me too. You're really a very, very kind man. And I wish many blessings upon you and your entire family. And I pray that your cousin I hope he enters the gates of heaven. I hope that he's welcomed in heaven and he has because he's not deceased. He's still alive. He's just on his next journey in his spiritual life. None of us die. Oh, your English is excellent, Miller. Yeah, your English is excellent. I understood everything. Yeah, it was wonderful. So, so I also brought up with narcissists and text messaging that I don't want to get into a dispute with the married man because I don't want to be lied on. Getting into disputes with married people, that married man can go lie and tell his wife that I was coming on to him. So this is what could be happening. So you will understand the dynamics of a married person. So what could be happening is with this particular married man, like I told you in another video, I saw him flirt and do cheating behavior years ago. I even told the sister that he was cheating with, that he was, making passes with and flirting with. I had to tell that sister that he's married. And the gentleman said, well, I'm not married to you, which is true. He's not married to me, but they were flirting around. And so I just didn't think that that was a good idea because I love his wife and I think she's a sweet lady. Okay. So I intervened. That's what empaths do. We intervene to try to stop things that we see that's not good. But he didn't listen. He flirted around. So what could be happening is this. What could be happening is this. So this is a married man that I've known, but he may actively have affairs on his wife and not tell me. So number one, with this particular married man that I'm friends with, him and his wife, he could actually be actively having affairs. And he could have had a side chick. And he could have just been discarded by a side chick, which means the side chick has broke up with him or he has broke up with the side chick. Either way, there could have been a breakup with the side chick. So what happens with married people is he has a habit. So for example, if he was used to calling his side chick every Monday morning, he goes the whole weekend without talking to his side chick. And Monday morning, the side chick knows he's going to call. That could be a habit of his. So what's happened is, this is what could potentially be happening with this married man. So the side chick is gone. So his subconscious tries to put me in the lineup for the side chick just because I have communicated with him. Okay. So you may not know that your married friends actively have affairs on their wife or their husband. This is something that could be hidden to you. And they're not going to tell you about it per se because they don't want you to snitch to their wife. So this married man, even though I'm friends with them, he's not going to say, well, I got a side chick that I've had the last 5 years. He's going to keep that hidden from me. Because for one, like I said, many years ago, over a decade ago, I didn't like that he was flirting with this lady on his wife. So he would keep that hidden from me. He's going to hide that from me. So what happens is you just end up in that married war. Because see, when a man or a woman is cheating on their spouse, they're in a war zone. So they just bring in other people right in the war with them is what happens. So what could be happening with this particular married man is that he had a side chick that left. So this is another reason I blocked this married man as well, is because I don't like people grooming me for bad things. Okay. Grooming me to be a side chick. So I noticed this pattern of behavior from this work phone. He's calling me Monday morning. He's not reaching out on the weekend from their family phone because he's a married man. This is what married men do. Very few married men will actually be with the side chick the whole weekend. The side chick will get a weekend here and there, but most married men A lot of them, they not even with their wife. Cheating married men, a lot of them be with their friends and they at bars on the weekend. They not with the side chick or the wife. The married man could be a homosexual and on the down low. So he not with his wife or his side chick. He with his man. Okay? A married man can actually spend most of the weekend with his man. For real. Not all married men are straight. They got a side chick, a wife, and that man that they sleeping with. And if a married man is sleeping with men, he spends more time with those men than he does any of the side chicks or wives. Thank you so much, Miller, for all the hearts. Oh, bye. Just watch it later. Come back in later. You can watch the live at any time. I'm going to release it to the public within 15 minutes. I love you and I wish blessings upon your entire family. You understand me? I wish blessings upon the good people. Your family is too good of people to have went through that. So I appreciate you so much. And let everyone in your family know that Advanced Insight Channel from the United States of America loves you so, so much. And I appreciate you. Thank you. So anyway, going back to narcissist and text messaging part 6. So with this married man, he could have just lost a side chick. Okay. And okay, so Barath Nadu 77. What is that, Miller? Is that like your TikTok name or something like that? Can I find you or look you up somewhere with that? Okay, so oh, Instagram. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your Instagram name. I appreciate you. So I'm not on Instagram a lot, but I will look you up on there. I don't post on there a lot, but on my Instagram, I do have this channel on there. So yeah, I'll look you up on Instagram. Thank you so much for that. And then I'll send you a message telling you who I am, okay? So because my Instagram is not under Advanced Insight, it's under my name, my first name, and something else. So I'll find you, okay? So I'll have to have one of my sons, my youngest son Daniel. He's good about helping me with stuff like that. So I'll let him know, and then I'll have him help me look you up because he uses Instagram. He's used that platform more than I have. I'm normally on YouTube. So thank you so much for your Instagram name. I appreciate you so much, Miller and Barack Nadu. I appreciate you so, so much. So going back to what I was saying with narcissism and text messaging, is that the married man that's coming on to me, he could have just actively, it says a profile picture is with a black shadow. Okay, thank you for that information, Miller. Thank you. Thank you for telling me what the picture looks like too. That helps out a lot. So I appreciate that. I did a screenshot of it so I'll remember. Okay. So thank you so much for being so kind to give me your Instagram information. So yeah, so you may wonder, you're like, wow, why would a married man that's a family friend be trying to come at me like that, right? But he's probably been having an affairs and one just ended. So the thing is, calling me from the work phone on Monday and Tuesday mornings, right? So that's a behavior that married men do with side chicks or their supply that's on a shelf. They will do it with intimate secondary sources of supply. This is a term that HD Tutor uses. Or they can do it with non-intimate secondary sources of supply. So the person that's being called Monday or Tuesday and the whole weekend goes by, they're the secondary source of supply, intimate or non-intimate. These are terms that HD Tutor taught me, and I do believe wholeheartedly in these terms. I think it's a good way to word it. So basically, when a married man that I'm not in an affair with, y'all, I'm not in an affair with this man, is contacting me Monday morning, Tuesday morning, he's trying to treat me like I'm his side chick, and I am not. So this is one reason I blocked his work number. You want to be very careful with getting into narcissistic routines. It's not good for your self-esteem. Okay. So one of the things I take a lot of pride and dignity in, and I'm not talking about a bad form of pride, just confidence, is doing things that are beneficial and make me feel at peace and fulfilled. I don't feel right when this married man is sneaking around on his work phone calling me Monday and Tuesday morning. I do not want to be treated like his side chick. So what did I do? Okay, this is Narcissist and Text Messaging Part 6. This married man, he stopped texting me. Okay, he stopped texting me because he knows I do not reply to his text. But when I answer his phone calls, if I choose to answer them, I'm going to be in abuse zone. Because when you don't reply to people text messages and they text you every day, they get real mad with you. So if I answer this married man phone calls from the work phone, he has a bad and funny acting attitude with me because I will not reply to his text. And this is why his attitude is bad. Obviously, he's had side chicks already. So he understands that to really get the side chick hooked and addicted to him, he needs text messaging. See, me, if I really wanted to get somebody hooked, I don't need text messaging. I don't need that. And I'm not trying to brag, but see, the difference between me and narcissistic people, I ain't trying to get you hooked. I don't want you hooked. Even with this channel, I want you to come here and learn something and engage and utilize the platform to help you heal, add knowledge to yourself, and have a little fun. And teach me as well. I want you to want to be here and like to be here on this channel, not be necessarily hooked to it. I just want you to like it. That's all. But this narcissistic married man, because he's acting narcissistic when he does this, he needs that text messaging. He's offended. And then you got somebody that's mad at you when you're not replying to their text when they marry. Either way, I'm going to lose this. He's going to be mad, even if I would have replied to every message he sent in the text messages. If I would have replied, and then one day I miss a text and don't reply, he's going to be angry with me. If I don't answer the call, he's angry with me. He's going to be pissed off at me and a little annoyed with me, even though I'm not his wife. And this is where narcissistic men and ladies compartmentalize us. In this case, this is a man that's acting narcissistic because of what he's doing. It doesn't mean he's a narcissist. And it doesn't matter if he's a narcissist. I don't care if he's an empath. I don't care what kind of personality he has. I'm not going to be a part of the disrespect, and I will not be talking to him on that work phone. I blocked the work phone. So I would not hear the call. It still will show me that he's calling. I actually like that option now. When you block people, I like that it shows you that they're calling. I really do. You know why? It's good policing information. It shows the police department that somebody you blocked is contacting you. So if something ever led to a police investigation, That's good evidence to have in your call log. This situation is not going to lead to a policing situation. It's not. So I'm just saying it's still good when you block people and it at least shows that they're still calling. I think that it's good for the policing record. I do. Because if something were to happen to you and the police and detectives got your phone, they can say, oh, she blocked this person and they're still calling. Let's see what's going on there. Or if you're a man and something happened to you, they can use your phone as an evidence trail. So without you knowing it, this married person that's friends of yours that's coming on to you, they could have just ended an active affair. So what you want to do is understand why a married person, whether you're having an affair or not having an affair with them, why are they contacting you Monday morning? Because that's what married people do. They busy on the weekends with their family. I'm the same way. And I'm not married. On the weekends, I got my family and I got stuff I got to do. A lot of people do it. And they're not even married. Their weekend, for one, the weekend goes by very fast. And you try to contact people when you're on your downtime. Okay. And I just wasn't going to answer his call. The married man lied to me and said that his spouse abandoned the whole family and gonna be gone 2 years, y'all. I'm not gonna answer this call. I don't deal with craziness like that. That's too extreme of a lie, and it has no purpose in it. Lied on his wife, y'all. Made it seem like she didn't abandon their kids and everything. I would not want to be married to this type of man. I don't care what they own or what they got. This is a bad marital relationship. And what makes it bad is that this particular wife most likely does not know he behaves this way. It's like sleeping with the enemy, y'all. I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with these type of situations. I am so glad that I don't have to deal with it because so many people do. And it's just a horrible deal. You know, any spouse, any husband or wife that has to deal with situations like this is not good at all. Very, very bad. Now, next situation. Okay, so I'm going to say this to empathic people. If anybody ever tells you that your texts are abusive or have been bad, stop sending people abusive texts. Okay. That's one of the things. If somebody texts me or call me and say my texts were abusive, empathic people, that reactive abuse that's done through texting is very extreme because empaths got a lot of narcissistic traits that's coming out and we need to work on that. So I'm off the married man because, like I told you, he could have just actively ended an affair. You should not be talking to married people every Monday or Tuesday after they done spent time with their family, unless they wife calling you too. Okay. But stop being on the shelf when people come back. Like the married people, they're putting you on the shelf. They with their wives and husbands, and they putting you on the shelf till Monday or Tuesday. And if you're not married, Monday or Tuesday should be a big day for you because you're taking care of your business. This is Tuesday here in the United States, December 16th. So I should be doing my lives. Why am I should be at work doing my lives. Why am I on the phone with some married man when I got lives to do? I don't care how cool he is with me. I'm not a side chick. I am not nobody's side chick. Okay. So, and I don't want to be treated like one. It's not good for my self-esteem in general. So, next situation, this one's going to be kind of a new situation. So, so this is the thing with narcissism too. Okay. It's very heavy in the black race. So narcissism is very bad in the black race. So I'm going to give you an example. And it begins when people start having like a crush on one another. So okay, say this is a crush situation. Y'all have a little crush on each other, you like one another or whatever, and they keep complaining that they're sleepy, they're falling asleep. A lot of men, they want romance and they claim they want to be married, but they are not marriage material. And I will be able to notice that. And if not married, a single man, not married man, because we're off of the married man. If a single man is telling me that he wants to have romance and he wants to be married one day, if I get close enough to the man, I will let him know that he's not marriage material, at least for me anyway. So this is a single man. He's always complaining that he's tired and all of that. So narcissism text messaging part 6 is he says this single man says he's sad about romance. He says he's sad and he wants a romantic partner. He seeks marriage one day. So he's constantly falling asleep, constantly complaining about depression and sadness because he doesn't have a lady. So I sent him this list through text. Now, this is a great way that empaths will use text messaging. I said, number 1, I lost 25 pounds and kept it off. Number 2, walking, going to a track and walking a minimum of 3 miles, which would be an hour of walking. Number 3, working out, but not overdoing it. Number 4, accepting how much of a blessing it is to really be single. Okay. And these are reasons to not be sad about romance. Okay. And not to be sad that you're not married. Number 5, attending the right church sometimes. Number 6, creating a social life. Number 7, helping people or certain people. Number 8, talking to family over the phone. Number 9, not keeping in contact with exes. I talk to exes rarely. Okay. Anyone that wants to be married or they want a boyfriend, girlfriend, a significant other, they always gonna be depressed. And if you continue to talk to your exes and you single, for one, even if you not single and you talking to exes, it's gonna affect your current relationship. Exes, they are X them out, draw an X through them. You're done with them. So number 9 is not keeping in contact with exes. This particular single man keeps in contact with exes. Number 10, to not be sad and depressed over romance, have a prayer life. Number 11 on the list, start a YouTube channel. Number 12, take my advice on these things, it works. Okay, so I'll send a list of some more things. Number 13, get in your own place. That helps with sadness, depression, and to get over romance. Number 14, hydrate, drink a lot of water or drink some water, the water you need. Number 15, continue to clear out mucus and inflammation out of the body. Spit that crap up. Doctors don't teach us to spit it up, but spitting it out, the Lord will give you a new body. I have asthma and I was riddled with mucus and inflammation, and it's all out. Okay. And when any comes, I just get it out. And it began with me learning about the Sicilian lemon juice. I've gone through a whole journey with this asthma. Okay. So these are the 15 things that I named to this single man. So um I didn't talk to him for a couple of days because he's always telling me he's asleep. Okay. Um Grooming and getting me used to bad energy. I'm gonna catch that energy. So what he did, he let me see. Let me go back through these texts. Okay, so Saturday, December 13th, he sends me a text that he fell asleep. He's always saying he fell asleep. Okay. Um, Number one, if you are looking for romance and you want to be married, nobody's looking for that. Okay. If you're a person, you cannot stay awake. People that accomplish things in life, they're awake to do it. So if I want to go out, if I want to decide, well, next year I want to buy me 3 cars, I'm not going to be doing it sleep. I need to wake up. Whatever you want to do right now, I'm doing this video. I'm awake, right? Would y'all listen to me if I came over on here and just started snoring and sleeping? So, I like how me and this person are text and we send each other videos and stuff like that. But Saturday, he said he fell asleep. Now, I've already asked this gentleman some months ago. I said I went through that sleepy phase of my life, and I asked him. I said, stop telling me that you're sleepy. I will cut interaction with anybody that does not understand the brain. So years ago, I would watch the brain surgeons, and they explain how to hack your brain and trick your brain. And I tried it. I tried the hack. I just behaved really happy for 20 days straight. And anybody that asked me how I was doing, I would say, I'm excellent. And lo and behold, I didn't feel a drop of sadness. See, your brain is what you put in it too, because the thing is, you can send your brain messages from your soul. So your brain sends messages to the body, and your soul sends messages back to the brain. So your soul tells your brain what to do. And once you can understand that spirituality part of the brain, your brain can become better. Okay. So he says, I fell asleep. I ignored it because he's no different than the married man. Just like with the married man, I didn't answer his Monday or Tuesday phone calls because I'm not his side chick. And this single man that's telling me he sleep all the time, he's sending a dead energy to me that I do not want to be involved in. I don't want to be a part of somebody's dead energy. So I ignored it. That was Saturday. So he says he fell asleep. I ignored it. I already told him months ago, please stop telling me you sleepy. There's no empathy there. When you are not talking to a for real empath, they're not listening to you. He does not believe what I'm telling him about the brain. I know it's true, so I just keep this type of stuff out of my energy. So then Monday comes, which was yesterday. He says, why are you ignoring me? I need to talk to you, please. So I returned the call. Okay. So when I returned the call, I also sent a text that I had to get some rest. I had things to do. I call it rest, not sleep. Notice there's a difference between rest and sleep. We had to get some vegetables. I mentioned vegetables and stuff like that. So then we start texting about these Neanderthals. These Neanderthals. I looked this up. So we had some good conversation there. And so so the thing is this, okay. People, narcissistic people will struggle with boundaries. Okay, so I had invited this particular person out to the West Coast in February. He wasn't happy with that invite. He still is asking if he could come now. I don't think he would be a good match to be in the house because he doesn't respect boundaries. And this is the same individual that I read you a text where he says he believes people should follow boundaries in his place, but he shouldn't follow them. He doesn't want to do them in mine. He told me he does not want to come to my place because there's boundaries. It's right here in the text message. I read that text already. He said he will not enter my place because of boundaries. But the thing is, he's still asking to come. So what is best for him is to stick to that. If you don't like following boundaries, don't go in somebody's places or place that has boundaries. I think that first text he sent months ago make a lot of sense. Don't come here because he don't like boundaries. But I'm not going to forget that he texts that. He says he doesn't like boundaries. So don't bring him in. So he's asking if he could come here because he's sleepy. He's still complaining about sleepiness. So I told him, I said, look, I don't want to hear it. I sent you the text message giving you 15 things that will help with sleepiness. Walking builds your adrenaline. So if you don't want to walk around a track, minimum 3 miles, that's about an hour of walking, then you're going to stay tired. Okay, that's the bottom line. I don't like people to continue to complain when there's something that can fix it. Okay. And I said, remember I sent you that list. So he says, well, walking wouldn't help him. He ain't tried it though. See, I'd never again want to be with a man that does not respect my knowledge and ideas. And this is why I can't get anywhere with him. Okay. Respecting knowledge and ideas, both people, the man and woman, has to be able to accept or understand the knowledge of their partner. So in the conversation, he says that won't help him. He wants romance. He wants to come to my place. He does not like that I told him he has to wait. He's still telling me that he wants to be in my place. I already told him to wait till next year in February. Now, ladies and men need to understand what's really going on. He doesn't care about romance. He's displaced. So when someone is displaced, that's the reason they want to come to your place right away. That's it. They're displaced. They're not caring about romance. They're looking for a house. Okay. Now he mentions on the phone that he would be a provider. Black women love to hear a black man say they're going to provide for them. They love it. But the problem with black women, and I don't have this problem because see, this is the thing. Be careful talking to somebody that's actually listening. So I'm listening. He says he's going to be a provider. That's what he's good at. And sometimes a lot of these type of men that's really not relationship material, that is all they're good at. They're not good at social stuff. They're not good at communication. They're not good with spirituality because they want to attend church or pray. They're argumentative. They don't want to accept any knowledge. They're not good mates. They're not guys that you're really going to go out and have any fun with as well. They're quite boring. To be honest, these type of men are quite boring. So he says, well, he'll be a provider. No, he won't, because he's constantly said, he always has this advertisement that he has no money. Okay. A man that's constantly saying he don't have any money is not going to provide. He's going to come in and be a burden. So what I try to do, being empathic, I try to protect my relationships, right? So I will have certain relationships because there's a loving spirit that I may have towards the person. And maybe there's some loving spirit that's coming from the other person too. But I try to protect people. So what I do is I observe and I just naturally learn you. Okay. So I've learned that he says that he's always not having any money, he's struggling, not having any money. He he will state, he tells me the list ain't gonna work for him. Nothing on that list. I sent him 15 things and he not gonna try nothing on that list. But see, he's not gonna try because he's not one of my sons, right? And I talk about this all the time. I've said this before. The reason you gotta not date and let these type of men go, you're not they mama. Now, some cultures of men may listen to women more, but most of the time they ain't listening to no black one. Okay, that's just the truth of the matter. Most black men will not listen to black women, even when they married to them. Okay, but they will listen to their mama. Okay, so but oftentimes they mama not telling them, well, you won't be so tired if you walk, because she ain't doing it a lot of times. The mama don't know to do it. And so people just sit up and pop high blood pressure medicines instead of just going to take a walk. So the thing is, with this man, he's pretty much messed up. I mean, he shouldn't be at the house because he's forcing himself to come to the house. He wants to come now because he's displaced. I understand that. But be honest about that. Say, look, I'm displaced. I need some help. Can you help me, sis? I'm really not looking for a relationship, but I need somewhere to go, and just do it more honestly. The worst thing a man can do with me is pretend like he want to have a relationship because he's displaced. Because I'm gonna see through all that red tape. Okay, so he's looking for a need to fill. He's displaced, and he's not comfortable with his situation, but he's not willing to fix his problems. So what I don't want is somebody's sleep disorder coming in my residence. Okay, this is not the morgue. My residence is not the morgue or the cemetery. Okay, it's just not. It's not the mortuary. It's not a place for deceased people that are not trying to fix their problems. So, this same single man, he mentions to me that he wanted to date a stripper. Okay, and he said he talked to the stripper, and she called him. He said, "Well, fine. If you're not gonna let me come, I'll date the stripper." I told him go ahead, because that's what he likes. He likes strippers, so get with the stripper. If anyone tells you that because you're kind of turning them down or being resistant, they're gonna date someone else, tell them to do it. Tell them go ahead and do it. And this is why. This is what I told the gentleman. I said, you're gonna end up with somebody like that anyway, if that's what you like. If you're saying you're going to date a stripper, I'm not your type because I'm not a stripper. I might start stripping and fall down my steps because I'm so bad at it. Okay, so go with the stripper. Because that in their heart and soul, that's what they want to do. So then he mentions to me, the same single gentleman, this is the single gentleman, not the married one. He mentions to me, well, what about when your boys move out or whatever, would you move a man in? And I said, look here, my sons are barely home because they're out busy doing their own life and world. Like right now, my sons are not home. I said, so they're not the reason I'm single. See, My sons, they don't care what I do. Like whoever I date, long as the man ain't beating on them or harming them, my sons have never cared who I'm with. Just seriously. It really doesn't matter to them. Now, the middle son, the psychopathic son, he will talk negative about my choices in men, but he cares in an abnormal way. He really doesn't care either. But my oldest son and my youngest son, they don't really care who I'm with. So the gentleman, the single gentleman that likes me, he mentioned them moving out. That's a red flag. I don't like men talking about who gonna move out in my house because this is the reality. The rents are expensive. This gentleman's displaced. So he's displaced, wanting to come in my home, talking about who gonna move out of here. Because the average man, he wants to take over my place and he would prefer my sons leave. That's the truth of the matter. My ex-aware narcissist, he used to say, well, we'll get married when your sons move out. No, my sons may be here forever. I parent like my grandparent parented. My grandmother, I never had an exit date. Long as my grandmother had a place, I could stay with my grandmother for the rest of my life. This is real talk. I chose not to because I moved. But keep in mind, when I moved, rents weren't that expensive. Also, my grandmother and I had some issues. We weren't very close. I'm closer to my sons. We have better communication than myself and my grandmother had. My parenting style with my sons is a lot different. I actually talk to my children daily, check on them, and I'm involved and present in their life, emotionally and spiritually, and financially, and I'm a provider. My grandmother was a great provider. She was emotionally supportive sometimes, but I have a better relationship with my sons than I had with my mother and my grandmother. Because in the areas that my grandmother was neglectful, in the emotional area, I tried not to be neglectful in that way. So because we get along, if you in my residence and you my relative, if I get along with you and you're a team member and you're a support to the household, you can live with me forever. You don't have to leave. You really don't. Where are you going? Next door where the rent's another $2,000? We'll never get anywhere if each one of us making landlords rich. And I've explained this concept to my relatives. They mentioned some flooding and if someone made it to work. Hold on, y'all. I got to reply to this text right quick. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, yes. So sorry about that. So I forgot my point, y'all. That's a shame too. I just forgot my whole point. Oh, I was saying this. Okay. My relatives don't have to leave. So, the thing is with the gentleman, he says, well, what about when they move? So I think in a passive aggressive way, maybe he's saying, I don't see having a relationship with a man is as important because I have my sons here or relatives. But this is the thing, my son's whole life, one of the things I always did was spend time on my own. So even when my sons were in daycare and elementary school, even if I got off work an hour early and I went and sat down by myself and had something to eat or just walked around the park, I've always had my own life. When you're raising your children, you should still spend time alone and be with your family. So, see, I've always had my own life. Like right now, I have this YouTube channel. Now, do my sons participate in the channel? Yes, they do. You've heard my sons on here, they participate in the channel. I'm grateful for that. But right now, they're not home. I'm always alone. Okay. Oftentimes, I'm alone because they're older and they have their own lives and I have my own life. However, we merge and we do things as a family. So when the gentleman mentions, when my sons move out, he shouldn't even be talking about my sons moving out. He's displaced and he's talking about coming to my residence and predicting when they're going to move out. That's a red flag. The average Black man, I don't know how other men are, but the average Black man will want my sons to move because they're considered a threat. Okay. Especially since they're not girls. So there will always be this talk of my sons moving. And it's very inappropriate because I am choosing to make them a part of my residence. So I am saying, hey, I'm the primary leaseholder. You're a other occupant. Okay. I want to take what I earned and got approved for, and I want to share it with you because you're family. Okay. So I told him, I said, me not having a man has nothing to do with my sons. I'm alone quite often. My sons are gone most of the time. Okay. This is what I said. So I guess he's saying that, I'm more comfortable being single because they're here. None of that matters. And my sons don't care who I'm with. They just don't want me to be with no abuser. And they care, so they want to see me safe and stuff. So the text messaging thing, he said none of the stuff that I sent him on the list would work. There was also a prior conversation a while back because he had mentioned to me that he was considering bankruptcy and he had a doctor's bill, a pretty big bill, over $5,000. And he said that he wasn't going to be able to pay that doctor, and also said he didn't want to pay him. He doesn't want to pay that doctor. He wants to keep that high bill, about a $10,000 bill, $20,000 bill, however much it is. It was, I think, 10,000 and under, 10,000 and up, basically, $10,000 doctor bill. And so when I was more open to him coming in town to stay for a while, now I'm not as open to it because of the behavior he's shown. But when I was more open to it, I told him, I said, well, you know what, to come here, you need to get you some medical insurance because there's that insurance. You can get insurance on that marketplace that I've been hearing about. A lot of people are getting coverage through the marketplace now. I don't know how it works, but you can go on there and get health coverage with the marketplace. Okay, so I said, well, when you come here, you need health insurance. He said he don't need that. And see, this is the thing. He doesn't consider me filthy rich, okay, in a financial way. But that's fine. I may not be filthy rich, but that doesn't mean I'm irresponsible. So We pay our doctors. We stay insured. I want my doctor to get paid. This is what I want. So, yeah, I may not be filthy rich. And one reason I'm not filthy rich is because I believe in paying my landlord and my doctor. Because I understand that if I don't pay the property owner and my doctors, I'm not going to be healthy. And I'm going to be in the streets, right? So, when I mentioned to this single gentleman, because of course I'm talking about the single gentleman, not the married one. I said, well, if you come here and stay, you need medical insurance. He says, no, I don't need that. This is why he's still single. See, one of the things, when you're meant to be a married man, one of the things about a married man or a committed man, especially a good one or decent one, he's able to improve. So what makes him attractive is that you can come in his life and improve him, ultimately improving yourself as well. Because a man that wants to be married could be a provider and could improve you both, but he has to accept you improving him as well. So what this single man, he's in what I call the rebellious man category. So what he's looking for is someone to be a burden to. He's going to be a burden. He wants to come in my home, no medical insurance. Ambulance comes for him, bill ain't paid. So a person that wants to be a burden, they want to take their current life situation, their irresponsibility, and what they want to do is bring it in your environment. See, people talk and the city's smaller than you think. So what happens is a lot of these ambulance carriers, they're contractors. They almost self-employed, okay? And so once one of them come and the bill don't get paid, that rumor can go around. So guess what? It's funny. I called an ambulance now and nobody shows up. Fire department comes, but where's the ambulance? That can happen even in a suburb, y'all. Because you're on the list of you don't pay your ambulance bill. And that private contractor is the ambulance company that sits right around the corner from your house in that grocery store parking lot. Those ambulance companies are not necessarily state governed. They're private. Okay. So you don't want to be in that situation. So the way I live, I'm not financially rich, but I'm very responsible. So if someone's going to come live with me, and I'm talking about living, you need to have medical insurance. That is a requirement. The single gentleman says, no, he don't have to do that. He said he don't need that to come live here, but he does, because that's the rule to be here. But like he texted me months ago, he said that he doesn't want to be in my place because there's boundaries here. He already stated that in a text. I read that text to y'all months ago. He stated that he does not want to be here because it's boundaries. He also stated that he would not enter my place. But see, what this type of black male is doing in this particular case, he wants to force his way in here or be persistent with coming in because he feels like if he can get in here, my boundaries will stop. My rules will stop because he thinks, like narcissistic people think, you're going to break the rules for them and they're going to be so powerful that you no longer have your rules anymore. But that's not going to happen. So what I have to do is keep him out of here. That way we're not in combat. because with the way he thinks, we'll be fighting. Another issue is name calling. Okay. I witnessed him calling a lady a name over the phone when they had beef. She's on the wrong side of life in some sense, but he called her a demon. Okay. He's also already called me something similar, but I stopped it. I told him, don't call me that no more. But he ain't caring about what I'm saying. The narcissism in someone makes them not care. They're not listening to you. That's one of the traits. If you want to know for sure if somebody has a highly narcissistic trait, notice that they're very dismissive and not listening to you. And they're highly disrespectful. He told me when I talked to him on the phone that he'll just date a stripper. I told him, go ahead. He's too disrespectful to be my man. I don't roll with men like this. He's too disrespectful. And it's nothing I'm going to be able to say to get him to improve it. So he also, I heard him on the phone one day calling a lady a demon. So if I let him in my house, he's already called me the same type of word. That's the religious way that they're calling you a bitch. When a man calls a woman a demon, look at it just like he calling you the B word. He calling you a bitch. He just using a fancy Bible word to get away with calling you a bitch. That's all he's doing. So I told y'all this on other videos, and I will repeat it. I'm going to keep repeating it here and there just as a reminder. It always escalates. It never de-escalates. So when you see these traits, he always saying he ain't got no money. He's calling women demons. Okay? He's hanging around strippers. It always will escalate. Always. So if this stuff is happening over the phone, if you let this type of individual or this type of man, and don't accept it if a lady's doing it, even if they are female, it's always going to escalate. Don't let them in the house. I witnessed them calling a woman a demon. I don't care if she's a prostitute, a hoe, she's somebody with a gambling addiction. She gave all her kids away. I don't care. When a man calls any woman a name, and you can hear them saying it, when I heard him say it, I told him to stop. I said, stop calling her that, because she was going off. She handled it just like he calling her the bitch word. It's not okay. So I will be a demon when he gets into it with me at my house. Because he done already told me he don't like boundaries. So we'll be into it. So this type of person, I can't let him come in the house because it always escalates. It won't de-escalate. So when I mentioned to him, well, my sons ain't got nothing to do with me being single. They barely at home. They ain't got nothing to do with it. Talking about when they move out. Why do men predict when my son's gonna move out and it's not their residence? My ex-aware narcissist used to do it. Oh, we'll get married when your sons move out. Here, I got my son calling now. Hello?
Hello, I'm at the door.
Okay, I'm coming. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Thank you, man. You making a video?
Yes, I am. You're in the video.
Say, go to Luke's office. I kind of wanted to work out for like 10 minutes.
Say hello to the YouTubers.
Oh, hello, YouTubers.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
Huh? So interview date be interested? Huh? Okay. Yeah. What you want to go to the rental office for? What's in the rental office?
Okay, no problem. In the morning, I think like at 10. So yeah, sorry about that, y'all. That's thank you so much for the like, whoever left the like. So so yeah, that's something that will be mentioned. Because it's a boundary crosser, right? How people like my aware narcissist used to do it, where we're gonna get married when your sons move out. And he's not happy. He lives in a place alone, pretty miserable, right? He's not a happy man at all. This was the ex-aware narcissist I had. But I just never understood it how somebody that's not on my lease, does not help pay my rent, is predicting when people are gonna move out of my residence. It's just crazy to me. But that's the way abusers will handle things. And it's a form of future faking and gaslighting. And they're also not being very realistic. Hopefully it works now. There's like problems with the internet, y'all. So hopefully it's working. Let me hold on just one second, y'all. I got kicked out of the live stream. Okay, so it looks like the internet is working now. Okay, because I see notifications coming through. So yeah, hold. I had technical difficulties. Daniel, you okay? Okay, thank you. So um, Daniel, any extra apps you have on your phone, just go out of them. Don't have a bunch of apps up. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So anyway, yeah, it looks like it's working now. So anyway, what I was saying on let me see. What is it charging? Okay, it is charging. So what I was stating basically was just the fact that someone that's living outside the home is telling me what will happen when people move out of my home. And I don't live like that, right? Like I would never meet a man and I would say, we can get married when your daughter moves. Or, placing conditions on someone else's residence and where they live and how they live that has nothing to do with you. When people live in separate places and you ain't got nothing to do with their bills and you not on the lease and stuff, you have no rights to it. But it's just the way that narcissistic men will speak. Because I dealt with it with the aware narcissist that I was with. He always said, well, when your boys grow up and move, we can get married. And if they did grow up and move, that aware narcissist would be severely disabled and paralyzed. And what I would be is what you call a hospice wife. And I'm not looking forward to that. Um, Most of these men and a lot of these ladies, they're not worth taking care of. They're not. I'm just being honest. And I don't believe that that's why I'm here, to be somebody's caregiver, the white people's shitty ass, to help talk. That's not really the only reason I'm here. And I've done some of this work, y'all. I have many children. I've helped disabled people. Um, I've helped elderly people that were bedridden and stuff like that. I've done work to help these people, but I do not believe that my entire life is just designed for that. That stuff is meant for periods of your life, okay? Not your entire life, because you have choices, right? What you should be focused on is making sure you don't become disabled, doing your walks and, taking care of your health and stuff. And I will be trying to like really focus and zone in on some of that stuff coming up, this new year coming up. But this particular gentleman, the single gentleman I'm telling you about, he mentions that would I feel comfortable having somebody when my sons moved out? My sons being home or just being a part of this residence have nothing to do with me having somebody, because they're not oftentimes here. For one, I mean, it just has nothing to do with it. I cannot blame my family for the reason I'm single. It's just I don't care about it. And um, and it's crazy, like how there's no empathy there, because this particular gentleman, he's in the middle and transition. He's displaced right now. So what do you want my children to end up homeless or something when they move out? They may can never move. I may can never move because the rents and mortgages are so high. Where are we going? Where are we going for real? One of the things I am is very realistic, right? And so if you can become more realistic, you'll be better off. So let me see, what is this called for? Daniel, did you just call? Okay, because I saw a missed call. You didn't call me? Yeah, so I thought that was Daniel calling. So yeah, so that's basically, so this is narcissist and text messaging part 6. So let me tell you what this text kind of said. So when I was talking to the gentleman, the single gentleman, he told me I have cold feet. And then um I can't be with no man that don't take care of his health, right? Somebody being sleepy and tired all the time, you got to do something about that, right? You cannot, um, and many women will turn him away because of this condition, right? You cannot bring your burdens into new relationships. It's not healthy. See, this is what makes you good relationship material, is doing the best you can do to make your situation the best that it can be, so that you are not a burden on anybody, so you can have a healthy and fulfilling relationship with them. If you are the type of person, you do not believe in fixing yourself to be in the best situation you can be, weight wise, your house clean, job wise. If you don't feel like you are capable of being in the best situation you can be, then you are not relationship material. You're just somebody that wants to be a burden to somebody. That's it. You're not relationship material. So so he tells me, he says you have cold feet. Um and I did, in this case I did reply to a text, because sometimes texting is a form of ending a situation, and it can be a good form of communication. So I said, I have no cold feet. I do not like how you live. I said, and I do not want those issues affecting my life. This is what I sent in the text. So remember, everything's a case by case basis. So because this is a single man that's interested, I chose to text. So I said, I am tired of you complaining about issues you do nothing to fix. Um, I said, you're doing nothing to fix your anxiety and depression. You just make it worse. I do not want your personal ongoing issues overflowing in my peace. Um, I walk my 6 miles. So live your life as you see fit. You are not relationship material for me. I am protecting myself, a right that I have. Go date the stripper that you mentioned to me, shaking my head. This is what my text said. So these texts I sent was in response to his text saying it's my loss. He says it's your loss. You have cold feet. Um, but then I said I am not losing anything. Trust me on this. He said, but I'm nothing to you, I guess. Well, it's not that he's nothing to me per se. It's just that, what is he saying when he's saying it's my loss? He's also giving himself a value that could be too high, like he's the Lord or something, right? So he's giving himself a high value when he texts and says it's your loss. And I responded and said, I am not losing anything. Trust me on this. So then he says, it's like you have cold feet. But then he says, but I'm nothing to you, I guess. It's not that. It's why is it a loss that I'm choosing not to be with somebody that life is so out of order that they can't wake up? Don't get with anyone and you got the answers to a lot of problems and they won't accept them. They want to be a burden and a problem. And they want to be your abuser too. What you got to do in the second half of your life is protect these situations. So when I sent these texts, he did not reply. So single people that claim they want romance and want a relationship, however, they are not relationship material. That is why they're not in one. See, I can be either or. I can be relationship material or I can be single person material. I can go both ways. But I know I'm relationship material. If I get in a relationship, I'm relationship material. Some people are not relationship material. They are only meant to be single. That's why they're being protected. And actually, a lot of those single people are being protected. The Lord knows that they're no good at it. So the Lord makes sure nobody commits to them. The Lord, when the Lord know, not they know, when the Lord knows you're not relationship material, the Lord will have everybody that get with you leave you. Like my ex-aware narcissist, he leaves people and they leave him. It goes both ways because the Lord knows he's not relationship material. Now, if you relationship material, somebody will stay around. There's all kind of scriptures in the Bible that indicates the blessings of being single too. You're not just blessed just because you're married. See, because I don't have to deal with none of that crap. I just don't. I'm able to focus on my family and just deal with that. But it just wouldn't work. There's too many in this particular case with this single man. Um if I let him in my home, we would get into it and he would call me a demon. Okay, that's for sure. Um he would not provide for us. If he did, it wouldn't be for very long. Um, Three, he would expect too much. Keys to the house, taking it over like it's his. Four, um, I don't believe he would contribute to the cleanliness of the home. I think that any issues we have, it would only get worse. I do believe that. And that's because some of these homes he's been in already, there's a dirty spirit there. And he's not gonna fix that just because he comes here. Five, if this single man came in my home, it would break my peace. I'm at quite a bit of peace right now. Um, Six, it could be potentially unhealthy for the children. Seven, be careful bringing people in your residence because you may need the police to get them out. Eight, he's already warned me. He's already told me that he'd rather not be in my home at all because there's boundaries. Number nine, this particular single man is way too rebellious to be a part of my life. Number 10, this particular single man is not doing enough to fix his own problems and preferring not to have medical insurance and thinking it's okay to go live at somebody's house and not have no medical insurance. That's very irresponsible. Number 11, um, text messaging was used to tell me it's my loss. See, text messaging is used for them to say what they want to say, but they're afraid to say it to you. And so this is a person that's a bad communicator. So use this as a red flag. Why can't he tell me on the phone that it's my loss? Okay, it's your loss, Irene, but he texted. So that's a coward way of communicating. It just is. And so he didn't reply to my text. Um, and I'm just gonna stop texting him. So, and I like I told this single gentleman, go date the stripper. That's called triangulation. Um, and a lot of black women and women in general, you can pull them in like that. Make the woman think you're gonna get with somebody else, get her jealous and stuff, and it may work. It just doesn't work here because it's disrespectful. And this is a sign of a cheater. Let people get with who they think they're compatible with. If someone's telling me, if a man tells me, well, I'm gonna just go date that doctor, let him go date the doctor because that's what he like. He like doctors. And if you're not a doctor, he gonna end things with you anyway. Now the problem is what somebody wants to date may not always be what they can pull in. He may want to be with the stripper, but she doesn't she may ghost him. She may not be available. The stripper may not be serious about him. So narcissism and text messaging part 6. These are the texts that went on. And I'm gonna mention this once again. Make sure your texts are respectful. No profanity and paths. Okay, so this text message, I'll read it to you again. Um, he says it's your loss. My text said, I am not losing anything. Trust me on this. He says it's like you have cold feet. This is what he says to me in the text. This is text. But I'm nothing to you, I guess. Well, what is he saying by saying it's my loss? I'm not losing anything when a person does not want to do right. It's nothing I'm losing. I'm just preventing myself from being called some demons. I'm protecting myself from a man trying to take over me and my children's place, causing a disruption to my family. Another thing, y'all may take this personal. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I really don't want no more men that's coming in my house that will not go to like church and stuff, that don't do like religious events. That's another flaw that I've had in my life. Dealing with prior abusers, that's one common denominator that having men enter my house that don't go to church. And and when I say don't go, I'm not talking about every Sunday goers or somebody that goes to the masjid every Friday. I'm talking about like I went to this Telios event years ago, the men's organization, and one of the gentlemen that spoke at the Telios event, it's like it's a group with a lot of retired older men and business owners. He said this. He goes to church twice a month. He had to find consistency. Every other Sunday or every 2 Sundays, he goes and enters the house of God. And so that's another thing. Like the way we're functioning and the things that help us is entering into religious events sometimes, prayer. And I don't want no more of those type of men in my house. It actually drags the family down. And that's why one of my consequences is being mistreated by narcissists, because the standard should have always been that they be a religious church man. And I'm not talking about somebody just saying they religious, somebody that actually, I don't care if the man goes to church once every 2 months. He enters a church, he enters a masjid, he enters a Buddhist monastery. There got to be some kind of standard that this man is using to better his life. And so you got to be careful bringing people into your residence that are conflicting with your lifestyle. They're gambling, they hanging around strippers. They not real about they walk with the Lord at all. And so I just can't have this. So use text message as a way to protect yourself. Because like I read on another live, when he says he doesn't, he rather not be in my home if he has to, if there's boundaries in my home, he said he'd rather not be here. I read that text. I read it to y'all on another live. And he meant that. I'm looking through the text now. He calls me stubborn. I'm a square. I got cold feet. No, I'm just seeing red flags. And I told him, all right, you're not relationship material. You can be more honest with single men when they don't know your address. They ain't been to your house, they don't know your address. You can be more honest. Be careful what you say to people when they know your address. So, number one, the married man is blocked. Okay, the one that's disrespecting his wife, contacting me, my friends, he's blocked. And this single man, oh, hello, Afenshaw. Welcome back. And then hello Benjamin Varese. So I'm just looking at these messages here. Yeah, welcome back. This live is about narcissism and text messaging part 6. I talked more about the married individual that's disrespecting his wife, and I also brought up a new example of a single man that is actually not relationship material, and that is showing the signs that he would be disrespectful if I brought him in the home. Not respecting boundaries and stuff. One of the things I teach on this channel, Afin Shaw and everyone, is that it always escalates. It doesn't de-escalate. When somebody shows you a sign of a certain behavior that they have, it always escalates and gets worse. So if they name calling over the phone and you let them in your house, now you've given them permission to name call in your residence. These are all red flags. On this channel, I always suggest and prefer that you have a lot of peace in your residence. Where you live should be the one place you can go and be completely at peace. Completely at peace. Okay? You should not be in your residence and not be able to live in peace. I truly believe this. So I'm going over this narcissist and text messaging. And what I like about narcissist and text messaging, it's been so fun to me because we can talk about other stuff. This live was really interesting, Afin Shaw. So you can rewind the live and hear everything. It was so interesting. We even had a gentleman come in, and he's from India. Very good man. And his cousin was murdered in the United States, robbed and killed. His own cousin, over a gold chain, over a piece of jewelry. So we were talking about the danger of living in the United States. This gentleman came all the way here from India. He was murdered by some robbers. His cousin is from India and moved to the United States. Yeah, you're from Pakistan, so welcome. Yeah, Pakistan is a great place too. There's a lot of the people are great. There's a lot of struggles in Pakistan now. However, not everyone is poor there. You know what I mean? But thank you for coming in from Pakistan. But the other gentleman that came in today, or you're a lady, Affinshaw, so I apologize. You're a lady, but there's a gentleman that came in from India. And his cousin moved to the United States and got murdered by some robbers. And we was talking about, you want to say hi on the live, Daniel? Yes.
Hello, Live. How you doing, Live?
This is Daniel here, my son Daniel.
You doing good? I'm doing good too. Good talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna also put Daniel's channel in the description box below so you can subscribe to his channel and watch his videos.
Amen. Thank you.
So please like, share, and subscribe to Advanced Insight channel and to Daniel's channel as well. So I'll put that in the description box below. Thank you so much. So yeah, so anyway, yeah, Affinshaw. So that's what happened earlier. So what I'm liking about these narcissists and text messaging, part 6, this is part 6, is so much other stuff comes up, right? Which makes the live more interesting. But I went over the married example. Remember the married man example, Affinshaw? He started contacting me Monday morning, yesterday morning, and Tuesday morning. Like I'm his side chick or something. I went ahead and blocked the married man's work phone. So that was the result of that, Affinshaw. As a lady or a man, any men on here? Yeah, so I remember I said these lives, it's like a soap opera. It's an ongoing story, but the good thing is it's a real story. So the thing is, I stopped responding to those texts. I just blocked that work phone. I don't want to be a part of no married man sneaking behind his wife calling from the work phone. I've given him enough chances. I just blocked the work phone. I did not block him and his wife phone numbers, like their personal cell phones. I didn't block that because, like I said, I'm friends with them. But I did block that work phone that he keeps trying to go behind his wife back. Yeah, so I ended up blocking him. But on this live, Shaw and everyone, I ended up talking about another case with a single gentleman, okay, telling me it's my loss if I don't be with him. Don't date men that don't want to be awake. This particular gentleman, he can't even keep himself awake. He don't want to walk. He don't want to get medical insurance. I'm not bringing no single man in my house that's displaced that don't want to make his life better. And then wonder why he's still single. You still single because you're not relationship material. You know, a lot of women and men, when they want to date you, they're going to ask you to do certain things. I could meet a millionaire, right? And he may just require me to pray with him on the phone in the morning. He may be a real spiritual millionaire. And he just says, you know, one of the things I like to do with my lady is just, let's do a prayer on the phone in the morning. And that simple thing will make him want me. You know, you got to make people be attracted to you. You got to be able to do more than just sleep and work and fall asleep on people when they're on the phone. This particular single gentleman, he falls asleep so much. It's even hard when you interacting with people like that. It's hard. It's going to be hard for them to maintain family relationships as well. If you got a brother, sister, or cousin, anybody that's constantly falling asleep on you, it's just not healthy. It's rude. Over time, you got to be responsible and you got to say, I got to get my rest. And then after I get my rest, then I'll call them when I'm up. Shaw says, I hate people that are so lazy. Yes. And you know what, Shaw? You know what being lazy is? In the Bible, it's one of the 7 deadly sins. It's actually a deadly sin biblically. Laziness is not healthy. And this particular gentleman, he's displaced. He's displaced, and laziness can have something to do with it, especially when you're displaced or kind of homeless over a long period of time. It's hard to maintain a place in the United States. You got hard-working people living in their vehicles and everything, and they work jobs, and they've been born and raised in the United States. So Shaw says, really, I am Muslim, but still I will listen. Just a reminder. Assalamu alaikum, Shaw. Glad to have you here. I have Islamic concepts as well. So I understand Islam and doing our salats and stuff like that. So assalamu alaikum and welcome to the channel. So yeah, I mean, no problem. No problem. You're welcome, Shaw. And it's good to be a Muslim because it's a good religion. The religion of Islam is a good religion. Are you like a Sunni Muslim? What type of Muslim are you? Are you Shiite? Sunni? Are you Sunni? Yeah, well, this channel, everyone's welcomed. Christians and Muslims have some similarities. Um, I follow a little of both. Um, there's Christian fundamental beliefs that I like, but there's Islamic beliefs that I like. A lot of Christians, they worship Jesus, and a lot of Christians will believe Jesus is God. The Bible clearly states that Jesus is not God. Jesus is a man. And I know in Islam, they consider Jesus like a prophet or like a teacher. Jesus is all of that. He was created by the creator. So that's one of the things I like about the religion of Islam or being a Muslim is you call the creator, which is who created Jesus. Yeah. Thank you, Shaw, for saying I'm absolutely right. So that's why I had to learn other religions because I just did not feel comfortable worshiping any man, whether it be Jesus. Any man that got skin like me ain't no God because Allah is a spirit. That's like the one most high. Allah is over everything. And in Christianity, I guess Allah would be like the Lord. But even in the Quran, Allah is also called the Lord as well. Okay. So yeah, so this is a good channel for Muslims, Christians, and even Buddhists and Catholics, because those are the four religions that I know more about. So I will be familiar with concepts in Islam, Christianity, Zen Buddhism, and Catholics. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you, Shaw. So if you go through some of my lives way before you got here, you'll hear me saying Assalamu alaikum. So my son Daniel here, he loves to do this. You know what he does every day? Shaw, Allahu Akbar. Every day, this is what Daniel does. And Daniel goes to church. He does. He enters church. He goes to a church, a non-denominational church. But when he's at home, he says Allahu Akbar, which means Allah is the greatest, right? So we definitely mix things up here so we can have a successful soul and stuff. Yeah, thank you, Shaw. So yeah, we got the spiritual connection there. So I completely understand. I'm gonna let Daniel know we got a Muslim here on the channel. Daniel, Shaw is a Muslim. Yeah. Daniel said Allahu Akbar. He's out here handling something in the hallway. He says Allahu Akbar. I was just telling her how you say that. She lives in Pakistan. Yeah. Daniel said, oh, okay. Yeah, so I do really well, no matter what the religion, even if a person is non-religious. The only difference is, like Shaw, you said that's funny. Yeah, even if a person is not religious, they a lot of them will have less empathy. So you know how we had our words yesterday, Shaw, and how you apologized. That's the Muslim in you that caught that, right? So religion does help add empathy, and I just totally connected with you. So it's not bad to be a Muslim. The United States of America, they've tried to like give a lot of Muslims like a bad reputation. But I'm going to say this once again. Most of the people, matter of fact, 99.9% of people that hurt me They were not a Muslim. They were not a Christian. They weren't anything. They didn't even claim a religion. They were not a Buddhist. I've had very good luck interacting with Muslims, Christians, and Buddhists and Catholics because they're following principles of something that make them better. Now, there are people. No, you're not a terrorist, Afin Shah. No. Most of the terrorists ain't a Muslim. Watch Jim Jones. Watch the Jim Jones case. You want to see a freaking terrorist? Go on YouTube and Google Jim Jones death tapes. Watch the Jim Jones documentary. He unalived over 1,000 Christians over in Ghana, moved them all the way from the United States and moved them all the way to, I think it was Ghana, and made them drink cyanide and made the parents give it to their babies. So no, Christians can be terrorists too. A terrorist is a personality type. Okay, it's a narcissist, it's a psychopath. And you can be in a religion or not in one. You know, those are stereotypes. The terrorists are the people that's assuming just because you're Muslim and from Pakistan that you're a terrorist. That's a terrorist. Assuming that you won. And you're not a terrorist. No, you're not a terrorist at all. I ain't had no problems with no Muslims or no Christians. It's them demons and people with jinns, and they walking around like Satan and Shaitan. They actually would never join a religion. At least you trying. When you became a Muslim, even if you're raised a Muslim or Christian, you don't have to do it when you're older. You can decline the religion. But, you know, you're trying to do the best you can. There's good Muslims and bad ones, and there's good Christians and bad ones. There's going to be good Buddhists and bad ones. So, yeah, it's none of it's going to be perfect. But I promise you this, a lot of people, trolls and bad people come in my chat, and they say stuff to me and will never apologize. I've had people say horrible things to me and never said they sorry. Never. They will not apologize and don't feel nothing about what they say to me. And can hear me talking about Allah and the Lord or Father God. Because I try to make it diverse because I've studied different religions and taken on different religions. Getting saved and baptized when I was very young, taking my Shahada, things like that over the years. But see, I learned I'm not a religious extremist. Okay. I'm just not. So I'm more logical when dealing with religion because I understand the extreme nature in some of it. So every religion that I've learned or participated in, I take the good out of it. Because you know all the crap they talk about Prophet Muhammad. With Islam, you can't focus on Prophet Muhammad. You got to focus on what's haram, what's halal, and focus on the principles that you're learning so you can be a better person. That's what you got to do. And same way with Christianity. You know, in Christianity, they say we need to be Christ-like, try to be kind and nice. So I try to show that nature because my mother was a Christian. When I first learned about the Lord, it was primarily through my mother because my mother was a Pentecostal. So you say Saul with Prophet Muhammad name. What does that mean? So add saw to it? Like, okay, let me so okay, so in Pakistan you add SAW. Oh, it's an Arabian word. Okay. Let me see. I'm kind of looking. Okay, Saw Muhammad. Okay. So is Saw Prophet Muhammad's first name? May Allah honor him and grant him peace, always used by Muslims after his name. Okay, so Prophet Muhammad saw. Okay, I'm seeing what it says. So it says, I'm looking it up on Google. Yeah, grant him peace. But see, what I've learned too, um, yeah, so that makes sense. But I try to like focus on the worship of the creator. I think that that's where a lot of people feel like a lot of stuff is extreme because there's so much
My phone plans today too.
oh it is. There's so much worship of prophets and stuff. So yeah, but thank you for letting me know that to say saw behind Prophet Muhammad's name. Um, but why don't we add that behind the creator's name? You know what I mean? Because that's who we want to give most of the praise to, not to any man. See, what happens is like in Christianity, there's a lot of worship of Jesus. And then in Islam, there's a lot of worship of Prophet Muhammad. And I try to be careful with that. So so y'all, um so with this last situation with the single gentleman, um I'm just gonna stop texting. And then this live has been on a very long time. Please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. And then I love y'all. I love the talks that we had today. Very, very good chats. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions, y'all, before we end this chat? We got any questions, y'all, on this chat? Any questions before we sign out here? I love learning. That's why I call this channel Advanced Insight Channel, because all of the stuff I'm learning from y'all too. It's such a blessing. All the stuff that we just learned together. And it's just so many people are going they're going through so much, whether they be in Pakistan, India. You know what? When I see people come in here from other I know for sure that it's meant for me to do this channel. I mean, who would have ever thought that I would be able to talk to, communicate, and learn from people all the way in Pakistan and India. It's such a blessing. Such a blessing. Okay. So any questions, y'all? Please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. And goodbye to everyone. Make sure that ultimately who we pray to and connect to the most is the one most high in heaven. Or in Islam, they would call heaven Jannah. And like Afenshaw says, when you say Prophet Muhammad name, say Saw after it. So thanks for teaching me that. So I'll see y'all next time. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you all. Tune in for more. Click a like before you leave. Please click a like so you too will help share the video. Thank you, Afenshaw, for clicking the like. I appreciate you. Bye. I'll see you on the next live, okay? Thanks for the participation for everyone from the United States, Pakistan, India. I appreciate y'all coming in from everywhere. Thank you. May the Lord bless you all.